Hello and welcome back to Acting with Kira. Today we're going to talk about the role of the audience in immersive theatre. Hi, I'm Kira and today we're going to be talking about the role of the audience in immersive theatre. So if you've already watched my other videos, you know the basics of immersive theatre. Immersive theatre is not traditional and therefore the role of the audience is not traditional. The audience find themselves enveloped within the world of the show. Now the audience always has some sort of freedom, and there are different types of freedoms that the audience can have, and I'll put a link to my video on the different types of freedoms somewhere on the screen. And in particular for this video, we're going to be focusing on when the audience has the freedom to interact with the cast. If you're putting on an immersive show and you want to give the audience lots of freedom to interact with the cast, you're going to come up to this conundrum. How to give your audience real freedom to interact with the cast whilst also ensuring that they do not destroy your storyline. For example, if your audience decides to imprison one of the lead cast members who is needed for the final scene of the play, it's kind of going to throw the play. So in order to avoid that, there's a few things that you can put into place beforehand to ensure the audience can't completely destroy the play. With choice comes power. So one of the ways to limit the way in which your audience can influence the play is to limit their power. But how do you limit their power? Well, one of the ways to do this is to give the audience roles. And if you've been to an immersive show, you might remember that you actually were given a role before you attended. If you give the audience members roles that have a certain status, which therefore caps their decision-making skills or their power, they cannot heavily influence or throw off the play. Jason Warren, in his book, Creating Worlds, How to Make Immersive Theatre, which if you're putting on an immersive show, I highly recommend reading. It lays everything out for you and is a great read. He specifically talks about casting the audience. So to do this, you need to think about what social structures exist in the world of your show, but outside of the main characters. When thinking about casting the audience, he lays out 3 rules that you must follow when giving the audience a role. Rule number 1. Their role already means that they are controlled in some sense, so you do not need to explain all of the rules to them. An example of this might be if they're part of an organisation that exists within the world of the play. Therefore, they intuitively know when given the choice, they will do whatever benefits this organisation. Same if they are following a member of royalty that exists in the play. They will know intuitively to do whatever benefits that member of royalty as that fits within their role. Rule number 2. The role is specific to this world, and it's an interesting role. If the role is just generic and not really that fun, the audience members aren't really going to be very committed to it or loyal to it. So make sure that it's fun and that it's very specific to the world that they've just bought a ticket to come and see. And rule number 3, their role does not have enough power to affect the storyline. And by this I mean that they are not able to make any major decisions that is going to disrupt anything. Let's have an example. Say you're putting on A Midsummer Night's Dream. Here are some options of how you could cast the audience. You could cast them as Titania's fairies, and more specifically you could say they are young fairies who have just gotten their wings. So let's see how it fits with the rules. So rule number 1 was to give the audience a role which already tells them what to do without having to explicitly explain a set of rules. So as they are Titania's fairies, they will know that their loyalty lies with her. Therefore, as they go through the play, they will do things that only benefit her and not do anything to obstruct her or get in the way of what she wants. Rule number 2, make it interesting and specific to this world. Well, it's definitely specific because it's Titania's fairies and she has a whole horde of fairies that surround her and that are very integral to the storyline. And it's also amazing. You never get to be fairies in real life, so it's a very interesting role outside of the ordinary. And rule number 3, which is make sure they don't have enough power to make any major decisions to get in the way of the storyline. Well, as you specifically said that they're young fairies who've just gotten their wings, it's clear to the audience that they're fairly far down in terms of status in the fairy kingdom. Therefore, they won't be able to make any huge decisions that will alter the storyline at all or get in the way of the main characters. So another option could be soldiers in Theseus's court who have given an oath to protect the kingdom. Let's see if it fits with the 3 rules. Rule number 1, to make sure that the audience know what to do without explicitly having to explain rules. Well, yes, because they know that they've given an oath, therefore they have to protect the kingdom at all costs, and they won't do anything to get in the way of protecting that kingdom. Rule number 2, is it interesting and specific to the play? Well, yes, the role is exciting because these are members of Theseus's court. Theseus is the king. Therefore, it's very specific to this world. And rule number 3, that they don't have enough power to make any major decisions. Again, yes, whilst they do have some power, they are not high up enough in the kingdom to make any governing or major decisions that could get in the way of the storyline or the main cast members. Whilst neither of these roles have any major decision-making power, they're both needed for the world to function. This is important because it will make the audience feel valued. And the fact that they have a role with a specific function within this world that other people rely on will make them loyal to the role and stick with the part throughout the play. To quote Jason Warren on this, he says, "The key is having the audience be on a social level that the main characters would be aware of, but have no real responsibility to." You can see that status is key in shaping how your audience interact with your world. You can have more than one role, you can have different roles assigned to different audience members. So have a think about how you want the audience to engage with this world and how you want them to be placed in terms of social structure within this world. So hit like if you like the video and hit subscribe with the bell to see more videos like this one, and share with anyone that you think might benefit from this information, maybe someone who's putting on a show who's just interested in the topic. And pop in the comments below what you think would make an amazing immersive production. Have a great day, guys, and thanks for watching. See you next time.